and you can just talk with me while I'm playing this wonderful game.
It's more Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah, I'm at World's End.
Ooh.
Yes, so I'm playing the DLC Ragnarok. So, you know, the mythological end of the world.
Yeah.
And I've finished, as far as I remember, I think I've done all the side quests and, and everything, so now I'm just going to do the main quests and basically finish the game.
The High One!
So currently I'm playing as Odin.
Okay. Yeah, I remembered something about you were fighting a evil giant lady who had messed with your son, and you were like kicking some dwarfs around.
Yeah, that's true. There was the evil giant Surtur and his mistress, warrioress, that killed my mistress, who is the mother of one of my sons, which is Balder.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so now we're on a quest for vengeance and finding Balder, of course.
Oh, the world's about to end. I'd better, you know, punch everyone who deserves it while I still can.
That's what it feels like currently. There's a lot of dwarves in the shelter that I'm in right now, and I need to lower the game volume because, god dang, it's loud.
You know, not a lot of quiet dwarves.
No, they're very, very raucous and loud right now. There's sound. I'll just get it down to 75%, that should be good.
Nice.
Yeah. I always found it hilarious that the main character's name is Eivor, which makes me think of a sweet old lady. Because most old ladies in this country are named Eivor.
Nice.
You know, it's kind of like the name Agatha. That's a grandmother, isn't it?
Don't let me interrupt you.
Oh yeah.
Or Mabel, or something. What else?
Painfully outdated.
Yeah. And Eivor is a very, like, it's a very gendered name. It's a female name, very clearly. So they could have chosen any other name that has like a double meaning.
Let us help one another. What exactly is the source
Gotcha.
of grief here?
Rhymes!
Yeah.
Rhythm! Oh, we could use your poet's heart.
My what?
Your words!
So it would be like
Gusto!
if someone just named their, you know, you can make the protagonist whichever, you know, play through as whichever gender, but either way, your character's name is Susan.
Yeah, exactly.
Will our end?
That's what it feels like.
I am here to
I mean, for those
understand how my
non-Scandinaves, it probably feels very exotic and everything, but if you're a Scandinavian, it's like,
Nonsense!
why does my guy have a lady's name? Why am I playing Susan the man?
But his kin, his daughter Asa, stirs above, snatches up our people, works them to death.
Right.
An unwinnable war.
Yeah.
Bill or George, anything but Sue.
And seal our legacies. Exactly.
Yeah.
But as is clear,
So, how are you doing today, by the way?
we have drunk ourselves to hell.
I'm all right. Just trying to survive my last couple hours at work here.
So it must be you.
Um,
Completes the song of our
So,
saga.
last night before work, I ran a couple hours of my Wrath and Glory game.
Oh, how did that go?
I will hammer the end of your
You know, considering that one of the players was basically Mr. Bean as an ecclesiarchy priest,
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
and one of the players is basically Sam from Burn Notice,
Sam?
Bruce Campbell's character.
Oh, right. Burnout, sorry. I was thinking of a different show. Yeah.
Yeah, and And the third character is a digger, and he basically made a human character with some of the orc archetype abilities using the advanced character creation rules. So there's just this one guy who's running around talking like an orc.
Not quite what I was thinking. Let's try.
Was he spreading the name?
To shit on his name?
Was he trying to spread the word of Gork and Mork?
To lend his words to our song. Always.
No, but he does keep trying to convince everyone else that to let him see their tech so he can fix it up and make it proper orky.
Ah.
Friends go out. Choice to forget.
Yeah.
There was a point when they were walking through the guard station,
I do not have
and they passed by a little
you said Suture has a door.
workshop with a bunch of servitors and servo skulls. They're being maintained, and he just cranes his neck as he walks past. He's like, I want some of that.
Gimme.
Where may I find her?
But,
There is
Did he speak like an orc as well?
oh yeah,
I'll go there,
Nice.
see what your people know.
including calling everyone else Yumi.
Trade her life for my sons.
You're Yumis.
Thank you, Premier. I'll tend to your people as a
I haven't let him take an orc shotgun
I will.
because it wasn't really all that different stat-wise from the basic like Imperial shotgun. I was just like, yeah, take it, go for it.
I mean, the orc shotgun, wouldn't that be more closer to like a scatter gun rather than anything else?
You would think, but there's not a whole lot of difference in the stats. I think they were they're basically identical.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. They had their, since it was just a 2-hour session and there was one player who couldn't make it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very basic thing. They meet up with their boss, and he tells them about their mission. You will go to the lower decks of this ship and infiltrate the local criminal underworld. Get recruited by one of the gangs and bring information on their movements and plans to me. And then they went down there, and they met basically the only person maintaining any order in like part of the lower decks. Bosun Tasselthorn, who has taken upon herself to lead the local law enforcement and has carved out at least some semblance of discipline in one small corner of the engine areas.
So kind of like a local arbites or something like that?
Basically, just heavily understaffed and underfunded.
Mm-hmm.
Because the idea is the whole ship is recovering from being part of a pushback against a chaos invasion, and as well as having to deal with chaos uprising within their own ship. So the whole ship is like the crew is still recovering. They've been dry docked for repairs for a long time. They've been slowly bringing in new crew to replace all the losses.
All right, so
that's part of the reason why everything is in chaos right now.
Due to the rearmament and dry docking and everything.
Yep, there aren't enough enforcers to keep the peace, and also with the supply issues, joining one of the gangs is really attractive because it might be the only way that you can eat.
Oh, well, that kind of makes sense then. That you would do that.
Yeah. I've even talked about how, like, if the group takes any overt action that damages one of the gangs enough, that will be reflected in the environment. Like, oh, good job, you sure did beat up all those
Word with you.
And Asir?
all those mean old guys who were
I'll only take a
providing food
I do not want trouble with the guards.
or
They allow me to speak only with
keeping the
reporting
tech
to them,
running
and them
in
alone.
lieu of proper engine sears,
should disguise
you know, stuff like that.
Oh.
Spare a moment.
Piss off, One Eye.
So there's very much a don't rock the boat kind of thing to this. There's a reason why they're just supposed to subtly infiltrate and gather intel and not, you know, not act too overtly.
Leave me be, please.
That is good
Leave
point.
me be, please.
Can you spare a moment?
Piss off, One Eye.
It's pretty funny. Where we left off, the players had just gotten to this hole-in-the-wall bar. And by hole-in-the-wall, this is something one of the players came up with that we did a little collaborative thing. By hole-in-the-wall bar, it's literally a hole in between layers of bulkhead
So then, what brings
that
not come to lend your hand?
you wander into, and there's a bar built inside of it.
Oh yeah, that was the thing we were talking about. The bar thing. Well, you call it like the Space Hulk or something, wasn't it?
That's actually a different that's a different place. The Space
Oh.
Hulk Lounge.
Ah, right,
They-
the Space Hulk
that's-
launch. That's right. Yeah.
That's the high end where all
Things to look forward to.
the big names of the criminal underworld kind of rub elbows. Yeah, this is a dive where a lot of the crew, the rank and file crewmates and laborers
Piss off, One Eye.
go to drink their rot gut.
Ooh.
I'm looking for the one that
So they got there, and they had their first proper encounter with members of one of the gangs.
Before you land us both in hot water. Hot magma, more
They ran into the Lodgers.
Mm-hmm.
The Lodge being the gang that owns their own illicit corpse starch manufacturing.
Oh right, yeah. The different gangs with all their stuff.
It keeps
Yeah.
pesky rodents off my back.
So they have their own corpse starch operation, and they supplement that
This rate, I could
as
I imagine the
big game hunters going out into the
something to eat.
into the maintenance tunnels and the bilge sewers and hunting monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So they ran into a few just kind of low-ranking shit kicker members of this gang,
Have something.
and
Sate your belly. Hopefully rouse you.
between the Digga delivering a well-timed headbutt
Asa is a
and the ex-cop ganger
common enemy is right.
uh,
If
deli-
I had
like
it my way, I would
intimidating them with some well-chosen words,
Sadly, she has
they
no
just
personal
narrowly avoided starting a bar brawl.
and I do not know where she has gone.
Is there anything you can tell me?
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Jake rolled insane.
Force.
The intimidation check, he needed like 3 or 4 successes on his die pool to succeed, to like successfully intimidate them and get them to back off.
See, Asa
He got 11.
Give her my friendly regards, won't you?
Sorry, the game is a little bit distracting at times. What did you say there at the end?
Yeah, he needed 3 or 4 successes on his dice pool to intimidate these guys. He got 11.
Holy moly, that's a lot.
6s count as 2, and he rolled like 4 of them.
Dang lucky, you gotta say.
Are you all right?
That's incredible.
I need to fix this, or I'll lose the
So at that point, I was like, yeah, these guys give like one last half-hearted attempt to act tough, and they just storm off without any further issue. Like, done. Yeah, no, there's no way.
very bad.
That's an insane amount of luck, basically.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 11 successes on 7 dice. I have 7 or 8 dice. Yeah.
That is crazy. But still, damn good. That just makes the job of the GM really complicated at times.
Femir's beard, you'll get this in
Yeah, it's fine. I was planning on, okay, well, we've got about like half an hour before I have to go to work. Let's have one short combat so that against like these
I'd prefer
shitty little gang members so they can learn the combat rules.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ended up circumventing that entirely.
I have quarrel with Sutur. His daughter will help me rectify it.
No, I just
do you plan on that?
want to go a little bit
Asa may come
beyond
up
what
with
you're
a young
talking
cub.
about, because I love
She does have a
Wrath
dark
and
side.
Glory or just Warhammer 40k RPGs in general,
Tell me
but
to find her.
what are your thoughts about the OGL
The
changes?
resources we receive come from a Milna, but I haven't got a clue which. Our blacksmith.
You know, I can tell you I'm really glad that I've been sick of D&D for a while now,
Mm-hmm.
Last I heard,
but
the guards are making.
at the same time, there are still ways that this, like, even if I never pick up a D&D related product again, there are ways that this affects the gaming landscape in its entirety.
In a very
it seems
negative
like
way, I have to say.
To a certain extent, it looks like Hasbro is going to capitulate, but not on everything. And I just don't think it's great that, let's say, for instance, Owlcat wants to make another Pathfinder computer game.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have to go to Paizo to license the Pathfinder setting, but then, since the OGL would no longer cover video games, they would have to go to Wizards of the Coast and try to make a separate licensing deal with them as well, and that's just...
It's just stupid.
yeah.
And what pisses me off is that, yeah, the RPG community thrives upon people's, well, homebrewing and everything. And then not actually giving them recognition and just stealing their material and earning money from it, that feels just very, very wrong to me.
Which they're now claiming, oh, that was poorly worded. We never, that was never the intention of this. Oh, you know,
Ah, that's
whatever.
just bullshit, and everybody knows it.
Have you read their alleged apology?
No, I haven't. Oh, game froze and broke.
Get your corporate apology bingo card ready for that.
Okay.
It has the our hearts are in the right place. This is what we were really trying to do. We see this as a win for both of us. Your voices have been heard. Let's see what. Levity where it's not at all called for.
Oh my god. This is
Like,
like the worst thing I've ever heard.
Like they actually worked in a little joke. Looking at your feedback, it's clear that we rolled a 1. No, don't
Oh,
Don't make a joke right now.
that is so cringy. Really.
This is the worst time for levity. Don't do that.
No, this is really not the time to try and be funny or clever about anything.
So
Jesus.
yeah, no, it is so tone deaf in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. From what you're telling me, it's like, oh my god, you guys try to do something. Well, your lawyers trying to be clever. They are not clever, and now every customer is pissed off.
I just love there are people comparing it to the scene in Thor Ragnarok with Jeff Goldblum as the
Oh yeah, that one.
Look, great. This was a great revolution, everybody. I'm so proud. You all did such a great job, and including me, because you can't have a revolution without a leader to revolt against. So, well done, everyone, and it's a tie.
Mm-hmm. But actually, I won. But still, it's a tie, you know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it reads, and that's spot on. It really reads like that.
Oh my god, that's so horrible. But still, I mean, Hasbro. I know Hasbro is not a very good company. They just want. They're in for the money. I know that. Everybody's known that for ages. They are not a very good corporation in general.
I would not be surprised if we see Hasbro trying to offload Wizards of the Coast in the near future, because their greed has really sunk the value of both of Wizards' big flagship brands now.
Both they've done Magic, right?
They've done really stupid stuff, really terrible product releases, trying to milk as much money out of Magic collectors as possible.
Well, I mean, I see why they would do that. I mean, they have to keep a balance. That's the problem.
Yeah. Nobody's pretending that Magic the Gathering isn't just a money printing machine. We all get that. But yeah, they've gone completely unhinged with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, then they turn around and pull that OGL nonsense. So
yeah, the OGL thing, it's just nonsense and silly. They're trying to play silly buggers with people, and it's not working. It's just silly, all of it.
It would be cool if this whole debacle caused them to sell Wizards of the Coast, though.
Well, let's hope one of the Swedish companies actually picks it up then. Because they can actually... We know from history that Swedish RPG companies actually do really good stuff.
Wizards of the Coast Modiphius, let's do it. I'm ready.
Changing the entire model of D&D into, like, the Year Zero engine or BRP. That would be hilarious.
BRP, maybe. I don't think they'd want to stray so far that they'd just use like this D6 pool system. That'd be weird.
Yeah, that wouldn't work with D&D in general.
Yeah, one of the big problems, one of the reasons they can't fix a lot of the perennial balance problems of D&D is they would have to move away from a lot of the things, the D20 and the 6 stats.
Mm-hmm.
They have to move away from a lot of things that make it D&D.
Exactly, and that's what BRP is really good for, since it is the 6 stats, just a different rule set for it, that's all.
Yeah.
And that's why I love BRP way more.
I could definitely, I could see that. That would be a beautiful crossover.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can finally have ducks in my D&D.
Yeah. We have. I have gotten the rules now
What are you doing?
Getting you out of here.
the
Keep
upcoming
quiet.
one.
Quiet! My...
For the upcoming Dragonbane.
Okay.
So I got the beta rules and the first
At
4
last.
adventures of the main
Relief.
campaign. I've read through the rules, and they are very honestly they are a little bit too close to D&D for my own comfort, honestly. But I still enjoy them. It's a good balance, so to speak.
Okay.
And it's still like roll below your skill level instead of like roll as high as possible plus your skill level as D&D does.
Yeah.
But and they did change the name of the ducks. They're not called ducks anymore. They're called mallards.
Huh.
Well, I mean, male and well, actually, mallard isn't that like the male version of a duck?
That's a good question.
I don't know what they are called because I know that in Swedish it would be and drake, so dragon and spirit basically. But in English, I'm not 100% sure sure on
I owe
that.
you my life. Those muspels were...
Yeah, I think in English a male duck might just be a drake.
Yeah, a drake.
Well, as
Yeah.
it turns out, I
Oh,
don't need
right, like Darkwing Duck, Drake Mallard, and the mallard is the name for the
I
duck
help you
species in
putting a
general.
stop to this invasion.
I am listening.
Okay.
I know
Yeah.
Ace
That makes
oversees your work.
Yeah, so they are called mallards, but still,
What do
and
you
they are
know of
more,
her whereabouts?
they're less Donald
Nothing
Duck
more
now,
than betray
even
us
though
to our
we
league.
saw the rogue image, which I love.
Interestingly, she took a bunch of my people with her.
And I'm getting one, I think, on
That is helpful.
either on
Farewell and keep
like a
safe.
canvas print of it
Come on, let's
from
ask stolen Ace's
whenever they're
attention as
releasing
of
it.
late. If she's distracted,
Nice.
we'll make
So I'm looking forward. That one's going on the wall immediately. I might even
Oh,
frame
yeah.
it.
That'd be great.
Yeah, having a Darkwing Duck, but a fantasy version of him on my wall, that would be so cool.
Oh man. And
Uh,
I'll play a duck barbarian.
the fun thing is that they removed the older editions where they had like ducks are not because of their stature, they're not that very powerful, which means that they have a strength range of like 5 to 12, I think it was. Now they can go
Okay,
all the
now
way
you-
up to 18.
Hell yeah.
And in the original playtest, the alpha playtest, there was a duck knight. And he was
Nice.
awesome!
Yeah, I'll have to come up with a good duck pun on like Conan the Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I fly into my barbarian rage, I just go.
Well, if you want to have a good spoof on Conan, there is the Danish version called Ronal.
Okay.
There's a movie of it, Ronal the Barbarian. It's fucking
I think you
hilarious.
showed me a trailer of that years
Yeah.
ago.
It's so much fun. I watched it in Danish and in English. The English version was fun. The Danish one was even funnier, mostly because of a lot of things get lost in translation.
Yeah.
But still, the English version is so fucking great because Ronald doesn't want to be a barbarian and he's small and weak. Which makes him the greatest barbarian ever.
Awesome.
Shit. Okay, that didn't work. Find and kidnap Asa. Asa took workers to Milna. The Milna is somewhere east of Goofathorpe. Goofythorpe. Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Asa is rarely far from a large magma pool. East of... Where the fuck am I? I don't even know where I am. Yeah, sorry, storyline has to get into the game now.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, anyways, I'm trying to get a new game group. I'm trying to get an all female cast this time around, mostly because girls don't tend to play RPGs that often, honestly.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to do, but I'm also going to get another group of of anyone who wants to play.
Yeah.
So you're on the list for that one, I can tell you.
And you're already committed to multiple games a week now.
Yes, I am, but I'm also a single guy with no life, so I can do that.
Meanwhile, I've got a full-time job, which eats into my ability. Like, if it weren't third shift, it would probably be better. But yeah.
Well, I'll be keeping that in mind whenever I try to plan anything.
We were working I'm working third shift full time, and then running a game on Saturday evenings for 2 hours before I have to go to work. And there's partly because there's the one guy who lives out on the West Coast, and there's like that 3-hour time difference.
Ooh, yeah, the
And
West
and
Coast is
you
rough.
know that I'm enough of a masochist that if you would ask to join the Wrath and Glory game, I'd be like, 9-hour time difference, let's go.
Well,
Because it'd be a total, if he's 3 hours behind, that might even be like a 10-hour stretch, because you're like 6 or 7 hours.
yeah,
Well, you're like GMT plus
1 for me.
1. So you're
I'm
like 6 hours
6
ahead of
hours,
me.
yeah.
And the West Coast guy would be 3 hours behind me. So that's like a 9-hour stretch.
I mean,
It'd be great.
I've gotten up like 4 o'clock in the morning for a DM on the West Coast once, just to be able to fucking participate. It was AD&D 2, 2nd edition.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and after that and the 5th edition I played with other people is like I'm done with D&D.
For 2nd edition, you got to roll Thaco.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
That was quite interesting though. Thaco is a horrible idea, but I still love the general idea of it.
Like the mental gymnastics they had to go through to keep the descending armor class system and still have a D20 roll over system for attack rolls.
Yeah, and that doesn't make sense to me at all with a game with that game. It's like, oh wow. With Thaco, that's where BRP did the right thing. It's like, well, there's always a 0 for anything, and there's an absorption rate, so you just remove whatever damage you caused from the absorption rate.
Okay.
So
kind of like how the 40K role-playing games do it. Armor is just damage reduction.
Exactly. That makes way more sense than both Armor Class and Thaco in general does.
Yeah, it's an intuitive system. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes way more sense somehow. I can't explain it. It just makes way more sense.
I also don't mind modern day D&D armor class where it's just a difficulty number you have to hit.
Mm-hmm. I just feel there's a limitation there too, because you don't have to parry if you have a good enough armor class. Wow, this game runs like a potato right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think Discord actually uses up way more than it should do.
You know, I've had issues with it before. Yeah.
Yeah.
When doing, like, using it while playing multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, then it makes sense why the game would crash. Because I'm playing this game on I have a 4080 graphics card.
Okay, so you should be doing fine.
Yeah, I should be doing fine, but I should probably upgrade my what's it called, processor anyway.
Yeah, my computer currently needs a new everything. It's been years since it was like a middle-of-the-road build like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's high time. I would like to start slowly upgrading things in it.
That's what I did. I mean, I bought and built the one I'm using today, and I've just been upgrading it whenever there has been a need for it. And it was top of the line 5 or 6 years ago, and currently it's mostly just the processor that might need an update. But it's like a 3.5 octa-core, so it shouldn't be a freaking problem.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, that's just life as a game nerd in general.
yeah, I'm especially starting to feel the need to upgrade because I bought that new monitor recently.
Oh.
And it's like the ultra-wide 1440 by 3440.
Yeah, where
But
you can get
I can't take advantage of it because I can't run like any even remotely modern game at that resolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no game wants to run on that resolution.
Monitor's freaking gorgeous. I want to use it to its full capacity.
Mm-hmm. I was in the wrong.
You know, maybe I'll boot up Skyrim. I bet I can run Skyrim at 3440.
Uh-huh.
It'd probably look great.
Yeah, probably. Whoa. I have a good setting right now in the game that if you have done certain challenges, you don't have any fall damage at all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I freaking love it. There's Skormil now. Now I'm finding the right place.
I remember I had maxed out my respect level to the point where I was immune to almost everything.
Oh, that's always fun. That's a lot of fun.
One of the few things that could still damage me for some reason was unarmed melee damage.
Mm-hmm.
So the final boss could still damage me by punching me in the face.
Huh.
But other than that, like, I could wade through hails of gunfire and explosions with no ill effect.
Well, that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I should have made my custom character, look like mild-mannered reporter Clark Kent.
Who isn't that mild-mannered when you think about it. He's a very spicy meatball.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Alright.
He puts on the act, but you know everyone who acts sweet and innocent is secretly a freak. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Except with the possible exception of Mr. Rogers, but it's possible we just don't know.
That is quite possible, yes. Whenever anyone brings out Clark Kent now, I always think about the Homelander.
Oh God, yeah.
I need your eyes, my friend.
Oh, still there. Even though the Homelander didn't have an alter ego at all, he was just enough ego for one.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But on the other side of things, the Homelander was probably originally not a bad guy if it hadn't been for Black Noir.
Not much I wouldn't know about, because I've never actually watched the series, so...
Oh. Yeah, then,
yeah, I understand the idea of the character in very broad strokes.
Yeah, in the original comic book, he is driven mad by Black Noir, which is a clone of him.
Huh.
Everything a Muspel princess could ever
Alright then.
So that kind of sucks.
Also, Black Noir, the character's name is Black Black?
Yep.
Hmm.
The character's
Alright.
name is Black Black. Kind of sucks in a way.
So you got anything going on in chat?
Sadly, no.
Usually like one or two people end up showing up. I don't know what's going on there.
There was a fellow who tends to watch me, but he was here before the stream started.
Maybe he showed up and heard us talking and he's like, this is gross, I'm leaving.
Well, that's a possibility, but he seemed to have disappeared even before I started the stream, so...
I gotcha.
Sadly, so... Too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try this. Oh! I tried to change the graphics and the game crashed.
Alright.
Yeah, it kind of went down to like a few frames a second, so I was like, oh, okay, let's try and change this.
Alright, now. If it's gonna be acting up like that, I probably won't stick around too much longer. I'll let you go so you can actually get the game to run properly. But
It's fine anyway, and also I'm streaming on a very odd time on a Sunday when you think about it.
true.
My
Sunday.
plan is not to stream for too long anyway. Well, it's Sunday. I want to enjoy Sunday. It's one of the few days that I have time off.
Exactly. Fine day, Sunday.
Yes, it's a fine day. It's a good day.
No, on Sundays.
Yeah, I was out at a birthday party last night.
Oh, nice.
It's a guy who used to work at the local gaming club, RPG club.
Oh, cool.
And now he works as a community manager for Shark Mob and their upcoming Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was there and did some networking, but also, celebrating a friend.
Oh, man, is Blood Hunt still a thing?
Well, it's not even released yet, so yeah, I guess it's a thing.
Okay. I forgot. I thought it was already released. Probably because they had an open beta. That's what I'm probably thinking of.
Yeah, I tried to open beta, and I really abhor any kind of PvP in games anyway, so it's not my thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Everything I saw about it, it seemed like for a battle royale set in Vampire the Masquerade, which is something nobody asked for, it did look cool.
Well, they also had a lot of veto in general when it comes to the development of BTM5.
Uninvited guests.
So the entire Prague thing, scouring in Berlin and everything, that's them.
Princess could never want. What is this?
But I did ask them, like, well, whoever wrote about the Chechen War, please let me know, because I'm going to flick that fellow around the ear hole.
I hear that was handled with very little sensitivity.
Yeah, it was. And most people were really pissed, and the company that were writing that actually lost the license, and it was given to another
Around
company.
your age. Goes by Asa. Father's, how shall I put this? A vain
Now the game
glorious
runs
fool who
fine.
thinks
I
he's
just changed the
God.
graphics.
Never heard of her.
Then you will not mind if I stay a while. Dip my toes in one of these soothing
Nice.
fire baths.
I have a better idea.
But, yeah.
Oh,
Turn around. Go back from
But on the upside, as I said, I did make a lot of contacts of
that is no way to
relatively,
look at a curious
well,
outsider.
within the game industry,
Can't put that
and
away.
quite a few
Why?
larger streamers
Afraid I know
in
how to
Sweden.
use it?
So that's nice.
I'm sure you can use it passably well.
Very cool.
But then I would have to kill you.
Maybe you can do some collabs soon.
Worry.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to be able to do with them. Or just hanging about being a little bit silly.
There's an easy way out of this.
That's always fun, too.
Now where's
Yeah.
the fun in that?
One of the girls,
Maybe-
one of the lady streamers who were there was there with her boyfriend, and he was a Brit. And usually I don't have problems with the British slang and accents, but this guy, I needed freaking subtitles. That's the first time in forever. Nice dude though, but still.
Oh, man. That's the problem. There are so many things. So many mutually like... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Mutually indecipherable dialects that all claim to be English.
Yeah, the English accent, sometimes it's like, oh, I have no fucking idea what people say.
You know, we should have stopped messing with English way back at, like, Pratwe Gardena in here Dagum. If we just stayed at Beowulf, we'd be fine.
Well, that would have made it way easier for me, because that would have been more like Scandinavian influenced version of English.
Yeah. I should just go through and like get myself an old English copy of Beowulf and see how much of it I can just memorize phonetically. So I can recite it.
Could only say good luck with that. Because
At the beginning.
when I was at I think it was the British Museum, I did I was listening to a tour with recreation of Anglo-Saxon, and to me it was like, oh, this is just old Scandinavian. I freaking know what they're saying.
Back when we were all just closely related Germanic languages.
Yeah, we are. The only thing is that English did use a lot of the Romance languages, which makes it kind of hilarious at times.
The English just couldn't stop getting into all these fucking wars.
Yeah. Couldn't stop messing about with the world.
Picked up a little bit of every language they encountered.
True. I also met the what's it called? The national champion of Age of Sigmar.
Mm.
That was really a lot of fun, though. So we had a long discussion. She did not agree with me on the fact that original fantasy is superior to Age of Sigmar.
Well, you know, she's got to defend her meal ticket game here.
Yeah, probably.
I say that like it's possible to make more money playing any variant of Warhammer than you spend on it, but you know.
Yeah. My opinion is still that the original fantasy world was so interesting, and they fucked up by making Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Focus! We have this!
We still got the Vermintide games.
Yeah, and we're getting the old kingdoms, which I really do look forward to.
Another thing I should get into. We should do some Warhammer Fantasy RP.
Oh, good old VFRP.
Yeah. I think the last time I played that was the game where I played the Dwarf Barber Surgeon.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
It was great. It was such a stupid game. It was... The main plot was it was the day of like the big parade was in town celebrating some great military victory or something, and my dwarf had set up on the parade grounds.
Let's keep the
He'd rented a big stall,
No.
Mm-hmm.
Godly
and he was selling haircuts and appendectomies.
If I were you, I would save the tongue rits.
The barber surgeon strikes again.
I saw no such.
Oh yeah, it was great.
A haircut and an appendectomy.
So that was you.
We got into some just.
What squabble had you?
But we got into the kind of like cringy, gross out comedy that I usually don't go for, but it was so absurd that I had a fun time with it. I got dragged into this plot by one of the other players to sabotage a rowing competition by offering a free appendectomy to one of the contestants, so he'd be all woozy from blood loss when he went out there.
And if that is so, Papa would sooner see
Okay,
you
that's
dead than
hilarious,
to enjoy
in a
your
way.
If you want your son back, you will need something far more precious than me to barter with.
So good. It was just...
I simply will not do.
Yeah.
Then there's no longer any need for you to draw breath.
I think at one point we, like he got up off the table and he's like, I feel funny, and immediately just dropped.
What have you found?
And he was just unconscious, but then somehow the plan shifted to having him declared dead and
Lord of frenzy.
taking him out and disposing of the quote unquote body ourselves,
Asa believes it may help her gain
which involved like on our way to go bury him, we had to knock him back out several times as he came to, and just
Sutter lives. My son will be his
Oh
prisoner.
my.
How does one kill that
it was completely ridiculous.
of death?
Oh, I gotta love things like that.
Something that is.
And some orcs attacked the town, and we helped fend off the attack.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, my character hopped up on a soapbox to give a heroic speech and nobody had the good sense to stop me.
Oh no.
I believe in that speech I named our newly formed adventuring party the J. Giles Band.
Searching for somewhere in this camp. She believes there's something interesting here. I need to see what it is. Could use Loki right now.
I've always loved the Warhammer Fantasy world in general. There's so much fun, and I have to say though that it's called Vermintide did really capture that really well. Gotta say.
Oh yeah.
So did the Total War companies. Even though Grand
remember
Strategy
firing up-
is not I think, but yeah. Pardon?
I just remember shortly after I got my current PC, firing up Vermintide to play with you guys and thinking, when did games start looking this good?
Yeah, I mean, that game does look really good.
Same thing with Necromunda Hired Gun.
Yeah, I still haven't played that one. I gotta do that someday.
You should definitely play it. The gameplay is pretty solid. It's fun. There's a lot wrong with that game.
Elven symbol,
Dear God, the faces.
which may allude to peaks or mountains.
They went out of their way to cover everyone's face in some sort of rebreather or something so that they wouldn't have to animate them.
That's too bad, honestly.
Elven runes are not something I can decide.
Jericho is the only character with a visible mouth, and you can see why they tried to avoid facial animations whenever possible when you look at him.
Oh, okay, so the lip sync and everything is horrible, I guess, then?
Two great mountains to the north.
It looks really unnatural.
Oh.
That's it?
That's too bad, really.
We are simple diggers, not experts of.
But yeah, one of the
Not to worry. You've been a whale.
let's see. Also, the way it handles the lore,
Let's see now.
um,
Located between two great mountains to the north.
this game is what really made me get Necromunda, but not because of the writing. The way its approach to the lore can best be summed up as IDK. Google it.
Oh, okay. It went that way.
It is really, it's so bad at explaining anything.
Oh, okay. That really sucks.
It'll throw like Escher this, Goliath that at you, and you know you could get from the context. Okay, the Eschers are the ladies who like pump themselves up with super drugs, and the Goliath are huge dudes. Sure, but it really doesn't explain much.
Well, okay, that's really too bad, because there's such a lot of information and lore with Necromunda. But the Warhammer comics, Warhammer Monthly and everything, they did the best job on that.
I might have to track those down then, but
I can send you a link
The main
to
thing
them.
that sold the setting to me is, dear God, the environments are gorgeous.
Oh, I can believe that. They have always been really pretty and beautiful.
Like you're walking through these ash-covered wastelands with these giant rail trestles over your head, and a train passes over you with like every car being the size of like a barge in its own right, and you get it. You get the scale of it. You get the splendor that once was, and the heartbreaking decay, and it's just chef's kiss presentation.
It sounds beautiful.
also, if you pay attention, you can find some fun Easter eggs, like the cogitators that run everything on the screen still say Goj is Terra. So these computers haven't been updated since the age of apostasy.
Ooh, yeah.
Which I just...
Imagine the update needed for after a few thousand years. Oh boy.
Yeah, they're still... But the good news is the hardware probably hasn't changed much at all, so it's not like these computers wouldn't be able to run the new version.
Nah, they just run Windows Vista and everything.
Oh, truly the darkest timeline.
Yeah, which would explain a lot of the Imperium's problems.
Let me tell you, Windows Vista came out around the time I started taking college classes full time. So I spent a lot of time in the computer lab dealing with Vista.
Look at that. Hengam, welcome back. And hello there.
Hello.
So, I'll have to ask you to entertain our guest here, because I gotta go pee.
We've replaced Eric's usual text chat, Alex, with Audible Alex. Let's see if he notices. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be great because I can talk. I'm not running the stream right now because I'm on my shitty phone internet. I'm just on Discord. So I'm going to be talking to you, and you can say anything you want back to me, and I'll never know. It's great. I feel like we have perfected the parasocial relationship right now. What's going on the screen? I don't know. If I had to guess, the character in the game is just standing there gazing into space. Either that or some kind of pause menu. Yeah, probably a pause menu. I can't imagine Eric just left it running. Maybe eventually I'll go back and watch the VOD of the stream and see for myself. Or just read over chat where you're like telling me these things that I can't read right now. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Hopefully some sleep, because I got very little sleep yesterday and I still have to get through about
Okay, I'm back.
45 minutes of work. Hi, welcome back. Thank you. Thank God you have come back to rescue me from my rant of insanity. Just desperately trying to fill dead air.
Yes, thank you for doing that.
Strange place.
All I talked about while you were gone is how I'm just ranting into the void, and your viewer there could be saying whatever in the chat, and I don't know what their responses might be at all.
The answers are as follows: gazing into McDonald's Wi-Fi, gazing into the dark gates, no pause menu, he's just standing there menacingly, and sleep.
It's just standing there. Menacingly. Awesome. I can respect the SpongeBob reference.
Good, because I did not get that. But I never watched SpongeBob, so...
There we go, that'll be your next stream. Eric watches SpongeBob.
Well, that would be something.
You might get in trouble for that one, because you'd be, like, airing Viacom's, like, intellectual property on your stream.
Yeah, they
but
are
you could
quite
just record
picky
yourself
on that.
with... You could just record your reactions. With no context.
Yeah, that's true. I could do that, and just like, well, You can add it to SpongeBob if you want to, but this is my reaction reel.
Yeah, do it like those riff tracks.
Yeah, exactly, like those. Well, here's a thingy.
More elven symbols.
Elven
Whatever was in this
symbols.
wall sat undisturbed for many
I still love
ages.
the fact that in Norse mythology, the term dark elf usually means a dwarf.
But before she could do so, someone beat
Or
her
an
to it.
elf.
That being,
That's the thing about mythology. It's not really a monolith.
were likely prisoners among them, injured, but very much alive. The dwarves were taken to the center of this chamber. Where it
Creatures were imagined differently by different people, or conflated with similar creatures, or
elven objects built into
gods and their tales were deliberately syncretized.
led to the dwarves' deaths.
Would it
You know,
be-
you get all sorts of mixing and matching of things.
Well, all we know now is that Drizzt Do'Urden is actually a Duergar.
That sigil.
Ah, clearly.
Clearly, he's a dwarf.
Search for Baldur. Perhaps we'll find some answers there.
Can't you tell by his pointy ears and his long, luxurious hair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody understands that. What the hell? Oh, crap. Ooh. The killer uses in southeastern A3 flags in the correct area will bear the sigil. The area will be heavily guarded. Whoa. Okay, this will be a tough one. A3, where the fuck is A3?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a very good question. A3. I'm at Sol och Mani Vault right now. Oh, it's pointing me in the right direction. Look at that. Here we go. Jarnharad is the place I need to go to. Okay. 35% of Norse mythology happens from Loki's shenanigans. What? That is kind of true, yeah. That is kind of true, isn't it? Everything happens mostly due to Loki being a dick to everyone. How are you on Norse mythology, Alex?
Huh?
How are you on
Sorry.
Norse mythology?
I know a thing or two.
I see you, old friend. I should be cautious.
Yeah. Loki.
Yeah, Loki.
Guys, I fucked the horse.
Well, he's kind of like the Zeus of Norse mythology. It's like, can I fuck it?
The father and occasionally mother of countless monsters.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not done with you.
It goes to show a difference in perspective where Loki goes and sleeps with a bunch of weird things and creates a bunch of monsters, and he's seen as a real dickhead. And in Greek mythology, that's portrayed as the behavior of a king.
Mm-hmm. Which makes you wonder, who the heck was he anyway? Ooh, come over here.
Better stay alert.
I'm doing some assassinate things right now. My character thinks he's an Assamite. So I am here.
What else was I going to say?
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's dead again.
Yeah, I think it came up that in the Black Crusade game I ran years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like last time I was in your stream, I was talking about how when in doubt, I would just steal ideas from Norse mythology.
Well, like most mythology, there's so many things you can get from it.
There was the one myth, what was it, where the giant challenges Thor to all of these rigged contests.
Yeah.
And I took that for the players were each going through a different test to earn the mark of their respective chaos gods.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
And the Nurgle one was challenged to a wrestling match by an old woman.
Oh yeah, I remember that one from the story. Wasn't he wrestling time or death or something in that one?
The way I heard it was death, and that was the actual challenge. Was he after he inevitably lost, she would talk him through it, and he had to figure out who she really was. And once he took in that lesson of the inevitability of death, that's when he earned the mark of Nurgle.
Ah. Well, I do enjoy the idea that Nurgle... Well, actually, the Chaos Gods in themselves are not necessarily evil, when you think about it. Because Nurgle is just rebirth and death.
Mm-hmm.
Khorne is honor and combat. Oh my god, I'll get frickin' burned as a steak or something for that one.
Yeah, they mostly just reflect the shittier aspects because mortal life in the 40k universe has been so shitty and caused so much strife and so much anguish.
Makes sense.
And it all started when the Old Ones and the Necrontyr had a battle so... they had a war so ridiculous that it broke the afterlife.
The war in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it that they called it? The war in heaven?
Yeah.
They are performed at night. There's emphasis on something called a salakar. My Elven is rusty. Vessel of souls, I think. Is this the object from the vault? The culprit searches for a Jotun and a Muspel subject to complete their work. Muspels killing Muspels.
Yeah, oh. I guess it's safe to mention this here, because no one who plays in my game is going to, like, watch this.
Alright.
So, do you remember I told you that the twist in this Wrath and Glory game I'm doing is the guy they're working for has, like, he was wounded fighting some Chaos worshippers, and he has, like, a fragment of a Chaos artifact broken off inside of him that's corrupting him.
Oh yeah, I remember that part.
When the players first met this character, I asked each of them to contribute something about him.
Mm-hmm.
And like they already knew that he had fought in the ship's guard and then retired to a more administrative role afterward. So what Jake contributed was during that battle he took a shot to the face that caused some horrible scarring and some brain damage that has caused him to hear voices from the bullet lodged in him.
Now tell me, what happened there?
I'm following the stink as it rises. As are you.
So he basically
Care to tell me why that is?
handed me a variant on what I had already secretly established about the NPC.
Well, you're casting your suspicions at the right people. Whose quarters are these?
His name is Calder, an adept in magic. Or Seidr, as you Asgardians sometimes call it. This place is where he practices it.
Whatever he's doing, it is not Seidr. At least not as I know it.
Sorry,
He's
cutscene
using
here.
something called the Salakar.
I gotcha.
It's part of a deadly ritual. And from what this room tells me, the dead will continue to pile up. Dwarves, Jotnar, Muspels.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You wouldn't. Your stepmother despises and distrusts you. Your father only the latter of those, for now. But in time, thanks to her venomous whispers, he may come to hate you as much as she does.
This is a lie. All of it. Your twisted attempt to pit me against them.
Sift through the mesh yourself. No other truth lies within.
Where are you going?
After the Salakar. Whatever it is, your father needs it. It may be the only leverage I have to get my son back. Calder marked the place on a map surrounded by waters just northeast. If he's
The thing is with the Norse mythology is that we don't really know exactly what it is, because the only information we have is from runestones and the poetic and the other Edda. And the Edda was written several hundred years after the Viking Age by a Christian, so...
Huh. Okay.
Which makes it kind of like, well, we don't 100% know, but we think it's like this. We hope so, at least. Yeah, because the Edda was written by Snorri Sturlason on Iceland in the 1200s. That's like 100 or 200 years after the Viking Age ended. But most
that is
people,
pretty wild.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. But most people agree, though, that even though he was Christian and was most likely influenced by Christianity and everything, he has written a relatively objective text.
Okay.
So
He-
that's all
He
we
was
saw.
making a genuine effort to preserve the cultural history.
It seems like it, yes. But we can never be 100% sure because, well, because of the background.
Calder may be nearby. This roof should give me a clear view.
My mom's sending me a text. You want me to pick you up from work or from your apartment today?
That was sweet of her.
There we go. I just said she can pick me up from work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being drafted into running some errands.
Ah, of course. I mean, isn't that what moms tend to do?
Oh yeah, and it's always just one more thing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh, I just remembered. We just have to do this. Oh, it will be quick, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
How many times haven't you heard that one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, while we're here, might as well... We'll see what I can get away with.
You can probably get away with quite a few things if you want to.
Oh, yeah. And I can probably make her buy me breakfast, too.
Ooh, that's a good idea, though.
Oh, yeah, it would be great.
But you guys tend to work about the same shifts, right?
Oh, no, she works day shift. This is... I mean, she doesn't work weekends, so she
Right,
has...
Sunday.
She doesn't have to worry, like, be anywhere this morning.
Well, that's good.
But... Yeah, she prefers this over, especially in the winter when it gets dark early. She prefers to run morning errands rather than run errands during the week. Like around 5 when she would get off work and I would just be waking up.
Well, she's not alone. I prefer to do most of my errands in the morning. It's nice. Then you get everything done.
That's fair. It is always nice to have things out of the way.
Yeah, and then you can focus on everything else.
Mm-hmm. Like gaming.
Yeah, like gaming, or just doing other shit that you want to do.
Yeah. Pour yourself a scotch, have a cigar. Great.
Mm-hmm. For example, yes. Oh, I haven't had a cigar in forever now.
I had one last week. So it'll probably be a while before I have another one.
Understandable.
I think I sent a lot of people the picture. I don't know if I sent you when I had I made the Manhattan and the cigar with it. Maybe not.
Oh, you have to send me that picture. I haven't seen it.
You are one of our
Alright. Maybe sometime when I have better internet, because it's going to be freaking out on me here.
Oh yeah, it will.
Right.
Stout, resolute. Step over here.
Alright, so I'll be around for another 10 minutes here. Once when the first shift guards start rolling in, I'll let you go.
Well, it's about the same time that I'll finish for today, I think. I'll have a stream later today with my sister.
Okay, so this is just like a short, kind of hour and a half sort of thing.
Good enough.
Gotcha.
It's just one of those days. I just felt like streaming for a short bit.
Okay. It works.
Oh. We'll find an adventure.
Oh,
Yeah.
what'd you do?
I'm joining a ritual with the Muspels, and they have an Apple of Eden.
Ooh.
That is quite interesting. Whoa, he just shoved it in my chest.
Okay. Like, I'm vaguely familiar with I know the Apples of Eden tie into the greater, Assassin's Creed lore.
Yeah, it does. And that was a new thing.
Let me kill him.
But I haven't seen an apple in quite some time now.
They don't usually wind up in people's chests like that.
No, they generally don't. So that was a new thing.
Okay.
Which is kind of fascinating. And the guy I was supposed to kill ran off because the daughter of Surtur showed up and messed up my kill.
I mean, I guess having Having an artifact shoved right into your chest, that does feel very Odin, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Also, like, removing your own eye just for the hell of it kind of makes it very Odin-ish.
Yeah, oh yeah. You hanged yourself from a tree for 9 days? Why? I wanted to learn how to read.
Well, once more, that is very Odin.
What signs might I find of this pursuit?
Well, actually, I think this is a good place to end it for today. So I'm going to save the game, and I'll be back some other time with this. So let's say goodbye.
That is
to
a
the
pretty
stream.
major event to end it off on, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I finished that part, so I'll be back another time. Shall we say goodbye to the stream then?
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good morning, everybody. Good. What's the line from the Truman Show? Good morning, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Exactly. And I'll be back later today, and if not, I'll see you guys around some other time. So,
Alrighty.
bye-bye!